Hi everyone. Today we're speaking to Chris from So365. He's a consulting director at So365. It's a company who helps people adopt the M365, get the most out of it, make sure you're using the best of your M365 platform, and also works on the Power Platform to help with business automation of your processes and make sure security is key as well there with making sure your data and your automations are all sat inside your M365 tenant. But yeah, I just wanted to introduce Chris, and we met at one of the user groups that we sponsor, which is the South Coast User Group. And we have that every Tuesday of the month down in Southampton. And Chris did a really good talk down there. So I thought we'd bring him on and let him tell the world about the solutions that they offer. So yeah, over to you, Chris. And
Thank you. Cheers, Mitesh. Hi everybody. So what we're going to do today is I'm not going to run through the full presentation I did because it was well over an hour with questions. So we're going to do a very abbreviated version, but I really just want to talk to you about, what you can really achieve with Microsoft 365. We come across clients that are paying for it, but really using, I would say, 10% of its power. And that's really just down to the fact they don't know what it can do for them. So we're going to bring some slides up and we're going to focus really on what's called the Power Platform. And I'll introduce that. So the whole presentation we did, as you can see, was all about, we're seeing clients moving from SaaS platforms. So for those of you, not familiar with that term, we're talking about the online sort of platforms. They could be HR platforms, they could be CRM type platforms. There's lots of them out there that you put your credit card in and you sign up. And what we're seeing is quite a move from those and moving towards this low code, no code. And Microsoft are very strong in this space. And they've got a lot of really good offerings within Microsoft 365. And so we'll just talk through that. I'm only going to really pick up on about 6 slides, and then I'll just give you some use cases in terms of things our company has achieved with these low-code, no-code solutions. So I'll skip over the topics. I'm not going to go through it all. I'll pick up on the first point here. I'm not going to make this technical. This is not a technical talk at all. This is really just trying to put into business context some of the benefits I feel can be achieved. So a little slide about us. We just deal with Microsoft 365. A couple of things we've pulled out here. We love SharePoint. SharePoint's the document and file management solution within Microsoft 365. We use it very heavily for our clients. You pay for it, so why not use it? And we love the Power Platform, which is the low-code, no-code offering within Microsoft 365. And we love Copilot as well. And Adam is a bit of a play on names for our sales director. So I said SaaS is really what we started talking about is, what is it and what's happening? So as I said a bit earlier on, SaaS is it's software as a service. I say you put your credit card in and you start using it, and it's very quick to get to grips with, very quick to use. And for some companies, it's a very sort of cost-effective way to get business applications to help your business grow and help deliver the services that your business is based around. But what we see is as companies grow or as they start to explore these SaaS platforms in a bit more detail, and we'll talk about CRM, that's one of the big areas we get involved in. So typically a client's signing up for a CRM solution because they just want to manage their customers a bit better. They want to have central records of their customers. And I said, I've put a few examples here. There are lots and lots of CRM applications out there. Actually, a lot of them, although they call themselves a CRM, a lot of them are really around quite heavy sales generation, lead generation, and lead management. Now, we work mainly with B2B customers, so they're not really into that space. They're more into, they've got, maybe 50 or 100 really good clients. They're delivering work for those clients and they want to manage that relationship and manage those services. So they sign up for a CRM and they put all their client data in there and the contacts and the individuals. When they stand back, what it is they really want, though, is more a customer-centric system. So what they really want is something that, yes, is a central record of their clients, but they can also use those records to start driving their business processes. And of course, every business is different. Even if you pick two businesses in the same sector, I can guarantee they will deliver their services and their internal processes. Everything will operate slightly differently. And those may have built over a period of time. They work effectively for those clients, and they don't really want to change it. So they start looking at the CRM, and they become quite limited in what you can do with them because they're SaaS platforms. It's a generic platform that's used by lots and lots of companies. Then they sort of realize that their data's sitting somewhere in the cloud, no idea where. And then they want to start getting at their data and they want to start using that data, as I say, to drive processes and services. And it becomes all very complex now because a lot of the platforms will say, well, you can download your client data as an Excel spreadsheet. Well, that's not really that effective. It's all right for doing a bit of internal management reporting, but not to drive a process. What happens when the data changes in the CRM? I just want to pick the changes up. A lot of these platforms have evolved though, and they now offer quite deep integration. So you can start to connect different systems, but this is getting quite technically complex and often involves third-party tools. So again, there's more cost on top of the cost of the original platform. And you can soon find that you're paying an awful lot of money for something that's still not fully delivering what you want. It's still almost a little island of automation sitting out there. And the data is not readily accessible to either your teams or to, as I say, those internal processes. So clients have started looking for something that is more bespoke, that really can drive productivity across their business. I'm not talking big companies here. We've got clients that, the core team could range from 5 up to about maybe 40 or 50. The overall business might be slightly bigger, but in terms of the core operations team, you're talking about those sorts of numbers. And even with a small company around 5, really getting that productivity drive is really crucial to them. As a lot of companies will realise now, employing people is quite expensive. People move on, you've got to replace them again. It's quite expensive, and you're losing knowledge and you're losing expertise. So Microsoft, and they're not the only company, have released over the last probably 3 years, I'd say it's reached maturity, is what they're calling low-code, no-code platforms. And that they'll talk about people not needing any technical expertise and can suddenly put together automated workflow processes or even building applications that can run on a mobile, run in the browser, or run on your desktop, on your laptop. And Microsoft actually at the moment are quite high up there in terms of their offerings. They're in the sort of top quarter or quartile according to Gartner and companies like that. And they've got 2 prime technologies that I was just going to introduce you to today, just to give you a flavour of what these can do. So the first technology is called Power Automate. Now, Power Automate is their workflow engine. And it is very easy to get to grips with. And you can automate either a personal process. So it could be, I need to send documents to my manager for approval. Now, the way I do it currently is I attach it to an email and I send it to my manager. Now, that document, if you're Microsoft 365, is going to be living in SharePoint. So, well, what we could do, therefore, is just build a little personal workflow, and I can select that document in SharePoint, right-click, select my Power Automate, and it will send that document to my manager for approval. My manager gets notified. My manager can click that notification. That could be in Teams or it could be an email. Review the document, and then through the notification, approve, reject, add comments maybe as to why they're approving or why they're rejecting, which is probably more important. And that workflow actually then adds that information against the document in SharePoint. So I've got a full audit trail now of, yes, I sent it to my manager, they reviewed it and they approved it on this date and they added these comments. Very simple, but incredibly important in terms of improving productivity. And the audit trail. I've got a complete audit trail now of that review. So that's a very simple example of what you could do with the Power Automate. We've built a lot more complex Power Automates. We've automated cross-department processes, company-wide processes. We've connected external data for some of our clients. So it's listening and pulling in information from external systems and then driving a business process internally. We've used Power Automates to automate HR processes. So time off management, so people requesting time off for holidays, for other absences, or notifying their manager that they're going to be sick today and they won't be in for 4 days. And we're using the workflow to both push that through an approval process and also build records that the HR team can interrogate and report on in the background. So really reducing the manual intervention, the whole process, making it easier for the staff member to do that request or that notification, making it easier for the manager to do the approval, and certainly making it easier for HR to do some reporting on the back of it. So HR is a really, really good example of where you could use something like Power Automate. We've used it in building CRMs for our clients because actually, as I said, what they really wanted was a customer-centric system rather than a sales-led system. So it was all about, onboarding a customer and driving processes off the back of it. And so we've built processes where, sales have onboarded a customer, that's notified finance, or it's even spoken to Xero to set the customer up in Xero directly. So the customer's there now, their account's there. It's notified the projects team maybe because they've got to deliver services on the back of this. So we've picked up information from the CRM we've built the client in terms of what is the project, what is the service, and we're kicking business processes off in the back of that. So we've got single points of data, like only one customer record, but we're delivering and triggering lots of business processes. So Power Automate on its own, really, really powerful workflow. You're paying for it if you've got a Microsoft 365 account. Doesn't matter what plan you're on, whether it's a sort of basic business plan or it's a full enterprise license, you're paying for it, you can use it. So, why not benefit from it now?
I've got a question, Chris.
Yeah, sure.
When you say you've built the customer CRM, how does that look like? So does that mean you've designed and implemented their CRM in a SaaS platform, and then you're using that, or you've built your own CRM systems?
So we've built our own CRM,
Okay.
and we license it as a core sort of CRM product. But the big difference with our CRM is, for those clients that want to use it, we actually install it into their own Microsoft 365 environment. And that's really quite important because what it means is all the data that's getting collected and managed through the CRM is staying in the client's Microsoft 365 environment. So it's ticking cybersecurity, it's ticking GDPR, it's ticking lots of things.
Right.
And actually, we install the whole code that we've built. So again, it takes reliance off us as a supplier. It's everything's there that they need. The other big benefit to me is once we've installed it for the client, this is where we end up tailoring it for the client. So we really, integrate their business processes. If they want us to connect to other systems they've got, we can now do it. So they end up with a very, very bespoke product, but we will provide that ongoing support and that ongoing maintenance.
Excellent. And what's like the most common use case for a CRM customer?
So again, I'm going to say it's a system to deliver or automate and start triggering the internal processes and services. And we've got clients that need to manage the installation of disability aids for clients that they look after. It handles everything from the ordering of the client equipment, the installation, instructions, the scheduling of the installation, the maintenance, the warranty, breakdowns, everything.
Right,
So the
right.
customer bit is quite small. It's all the business process that
Yeah.
sits around
Okay,
it
that's really good.
that is huge.
And that kind of stuff helps with like things like ISO 9007, 9001,
Yeah,
business processes and stuff as you automate them. I think one of the other benefits is, reducing human error as well. Yes,
correct.
people come and go, you have to train them, but then, if you've got an automated process, you have less um, errors plus consistency as well. That's another key thing.
I know those are all incredibly important points. And this is the benefits, the long term benefits that these businesses start to see off the back of this. And I'm conscious of time, so just
Yeah.
wrapping up a bit. So the sister product to Power Automate is called Power Apps. Um, and again, Microsoft will claim that anybody, even with no technical expertise, could go off and build a mobile app, could build a desktop app, and the answer is yes, you can. Obviously, when you get into a lot of big complex apps and business processes, you benefit from having at least some technical expertise in terms of
Yeah.
how you're going to design it and how you're going to manage it. And of course, you've got to think about the ongoing support. But again, use cases. We've spoken about the CRM. Yeah, we've built quite a lot of CRMs, taking our core product. We've built project platforms, mainly aimed at consultancies, so managing their consultancy services and their project delivery. We've built end-to-end HR systems. So we've got charities and community interest companies, up to about 300 people, running their whole HR on this. So again, once it's built, they own it, it's integrated, it's easy for their staff to access. You haven't got to remember passwords, it's all completely integrated into Microsoft Teams. So it's really, really nice. So Power Platform, is a great tool. Really, incredibly flexible in terms of what you can do with it. And the piece I'll sort of wrap up with is, of course, what Microsoft is doing now is really introducing their AI Copilot into all of this. So again, if you've got no expertise in this, if you're prepared to pay for Copilot, it's an additional license. Then again, you can start to use Copilot to say, can you build me a workflow? This is what I want the workflow to do. Can you build an app for me? This is what I want the app to do. And actually just natural language explaining what you do, it can build very simple processes and very simple apps. So there's a lot happening in this space. And I'll just wind up and say, you're paying for it. Please go and explore these tools in Microsoft 365. Talk to your IT service provider if you want to find out more information. Or, of course, you can always contact us. So I'll leave it there. Won't go on any further. And I hope that was useful.
Yeah, no, that's really useful. Thanks, Chris. And I've put your website up there as well, so anybody wants to visit
Thank you very
Chris
much.
and see what they're up to in a little bit more detail, you can visit that website. I do agree with the no code idea. I think it is a good idea in principle, but if you actually want to do anything useful, you are going to need to put some code in there. We've built some basic Power Apps before, but to actually do anything useful, we need to be able to put some code in there to do some of the other stuff. So I think that's just a good point to know. And anything else you want to mention about anything you guys are up to and what we're working on, or anything coming up on your side?
No, so, I mean, the big thing for us at the moment is the projects area. So that's fully integrated into our CRM. So clients
Okay.
can start to manage all their projects.
Okay.
And
Fantastic.
coming along shortly will be another plugin which allows clients to track support cases, any sort of case, could be a breach, a GDPR breach incidents. That's
Okay.
all getting integrated now. So really just a single platform for clients to manage most of their business.
Brilliant. Well, thanks very much for that
Thank you,
nice
Mitesh. Thanks
overview
for the
of
opportunity.
So365. No problem. And yeah, hopefully go check them out. Use the URL that we showed earlier, and go connect with Chris on LinkedIn and follow the company and see what they're up to. Thanks again, Chris. Good to speak to
Thank
you.
you. All right. Cheers.